Hey everyone, are you feeling the heat of the summer sun? We're starting to feel it. But as leaders, we don't have to feel the overwhelm and the burnout from the summer. This summer, come catch us on 6 specialized summer leadership episodes. Welcome to the Third and 30 podcast, a coach's podcast where we believe opportunity is everything. And we have the ability to make a difference in the lives of others as coaches and as leaders. Again, this summer, we're taking a different approach. We're looking at a leadership series to help us all along the way. We want to have fun, have some guests on, be engaging, be educational, and take this to a different level of opportunity for us, if you will. Episode 1, the summer reset, why leaders burn out, and how systems create freedom. Welcome to the show. We know deep down inside we want to be there to help everybody. That's why we're leaders. That's why we're coaches. We want to help. We want to be there. We want to be a resource. We want to be an asset to people. Here's the thing, though. We have to make sure that we pour into ourselves as well, because we cannot pour into others from an empty cup. This is one of the biggest things that we have to realize as leaders, and how we have to continue to do things that set us up for success as well as the team. One of the things we really want to highlight right now is why leaders burn out in the summer. Why so specific that it is in the summer? Well, it's easy to answer. So easy. So easy that it just knocks us in the face sometimes. Summer season is busy. People are all over the place. There's vacations, there's priorities of work that still have to be done on a regular basis, but then we have the daily things that we have to conquer. We have the daily items that are going on constantly. It is what's going on at the pool? Why are the pool chemicals off? What's going on at the sports fields? Why didn't this grass get mowed? Why didn't those bushes get trimmed last week? What is going on with summer camp? What happened? Why is this parent calling and why is this parent upset? These are the things that we constantly run into on a daily basis. So guess what happens? We start to get overwhelmed piece by piece. Doesn't happen in the first week of summer. Probably doesn't even happen in the second week of summer. We start getting to the end of June, start getting to the beginning of July. Now we have special events, 4th of July weekends. We have carnivals, different activities that take place. Now all of a sudden you start getting to that mid-July. Hard to staff the pool because people want a break. They're tired, they're burned out. Staffing summer camp, same issue. Staffing our events. We're all busy. We're doing work. We're doing that thing all day long. We're tired. We're overwhelmed trying to get the big things done while trying to get the dailies done. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of energy. Also, think about this right now, and I challenge y'all, think about this right now. How many organizations have unclear expectations? We all say we have clear expectations. Oh, we made the expectations clear. Oh, it was in the job descriptions. It was in this, it was in that. So many organizations don't have clear expectations. That uncertainty, the lack of clarity, now creates this ambiguity that goes on throughout the organization. Your team has to be in alignment to understand what to do. When there is not that alignment, now all of a sudden we are taking an approach of reactive leadership. So keep in mind, we've already hit that time frame of we're getting overwhelmed. Summer burnout is now kicking in because we're getting overwhelmed. We lack a clear direction. How do we gain clarity on direction? Well, we have issues that go on during summer. We have mechanical failures. We have missing assignments, projects that get backed up, other items that go on. These things happen and they're totally normal. They're totally natural. We understand this. And what happens then is we start reacting to everything, which puts other things further behind because we're not prioritizing. We're not maintaining a system. How do we conquer this? How do we beat this? These are things we're going to talk about as we go through the course of this summer. If we can do anything right now to help our team is have a couple clear priorities. And it's not hard. We should all be having staff meetings, especially in the summertime. We have a staff meeting. We bring people together. We lay out clear expectations. Hey, these are the 3 priorities we have this summer. Staff has their items that they bring in to say, hey, I need some help with this or that. And it's not hard. These are the ways we pull together on clarity of expectations now. Have a clarity of operation that trickles throughout the entire department. Okay, it's not a top down, it's not just a bottom up. It is everybody communicating together. We can eliminate reactive leadership by harnessing our communication. Reactive leadership puts us further behind in a lot of cases. Our lack of preparation. We always believe when opportunity presents itself, it's too late to prepare. So when that emergency happens, it's too late to prepare. The emergency has already happened. What are we doing now to overcome this? How are we setting a standard? How are we getting our foot forward one by one and bringing the team along with us? How are we doing these things? How systems create freedom is simple. And what I've come up with is the integration method. It brings clarity and structure. There is no such thing as work-life balance. Ironically, I'm reading a book right now called Alignment, and it is highlighting this exact same thing. The book Alignment is also going along this Montessori school of expectations and how they teach and how everything is created around work. They've kind of eliminated that word play and taught kids it's about work. This is their time to go work. So they're trying to create an atmosphere where work is considered fun. In this book, Alignment, it's talking so far about work-life balance doesn't exist. I agree with that. I am a full proponent of it is work-life integration. So how do we create systems? And simply put, these systems create the freedom. This integration is an integration of work, life, systems, relationships, priorities, because in the end, we are integrating all these things together. And if you're an aquatics professional right now, your summer is busy as heck. Your summer is overwhelmingly busy if you're an aquatics professional. Sports, sports can have ebbs and flows to it during the course of the summer. We have some summer camps that probably go on. You might have some baseball that's still taking place right now. We do get a little bit of a break though, and we are able to rebound and go through. Now, if you're a sports coach at the high school level, you're not getting any breaks right now until you get around 4th of July time. Because right now you're doing summer workouts, having 7-on-7s. When you're in the parks and rec field, it's big project time. Our parks are busy. Our park staff, maintenance staff, they're overwhelmed right now because they're trying to keep up with all the mowing that needs done, plus all the field preparation that needs done, plus taking care of the daily parks and how we cleanliness of the picnic areas and the bathrooms. This is a lot of work to do. So this integration method is pulling everything together. And as we'll see through piece by piece by piece over the next several episodes, how we bring together the integration method, because we are integrating all of these things: work, life, systems, relationships, priorities. We are at work for more hours in the course of a week than we are at home in waking hours, that is. So we spend more time with our work colleagues than anyone else. So how are we creating clarity and structure? At home, we're worried about having clarity and structure. We should be worried about that at work too. This process helps eliminate burnout. If we have a clarity of expectations, if we are setting the tone for exactly how this is going to look, these are the couple items we want to accomplish in the summer, along with progressing on our daily tasks. This is how we are going to get there. And it's really important that we have that mindset. It's really important that we're listening to our team because our team has needs. What are we hearing from them as far as their needs? So that way we can create some clarity around that. What are the opportunities we have to work together? Meaning bringing the team in on certain things and us helping maybe one person out, coordinator, supervisor, manager who needs help in a specific area. And how do we bring that together? So are we thinking about these things? How do we build that team unity? Because that's part of that structure. that we're talking about? How do we have a structure? How do we have the unity of staff? Because the more we feel together, the more we feel unified, now we have a commitment to each other and a commitment to the organization. And this is all how we bring in the integration method. These systems give us our boundaries that we'll talk about as we move into the next episodes. These boundaries that are going to help us work together. They give us the freedom to make decisions. We don't have to micromanage decisions as leaders. We have things that can take place at any given time that most of our staff is prepared to answer and move forward on. I say most because we're going to have some part timers that might not have that level of autonomy to be able to go make all of these different decisions. And that's okay. We're going to bring them along the way too. We're going to educate them. They're going to have some guidance. How do we create the clarity? Well, first we have to have meetings and we have to be able to create a balance and understanding and work through these things together. So, one of the things that I really think is important for us to talk about and highlight as we get into clarity and structure. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll be able to physically see the document that I'm about to put up to talk about the plan canvas. It's one of the frameworks that I work within. If you're watching this, you'll be able to see it. If you're not watching this, you can always reach out to me and we can connect and we can talk more, or you can get this information from the website as well. A website, www.jasonchaddock.com. What I want to be able to do is share valuable resources and be able to have us move forward in positive directions and have the information that we need. One of the things I like to talk about, I actually do a presentation on, is panic proof planning. We don't wing it, we plan it. And this plan is very specific. We come together as a staff to create clarity and structure. Well, if we have a plan, we have prepared. Preparation is how we achieve success as a team. Preparation is how we have the appropriate boundaries set up that we can work within. That gives us, again, the clarity and the structure. This is how we do it. If you want to be a great leader, you have to put structure in place. If you want a team that is organized and knows where they're going, you have to have structure in place. You have to have clarity. What I want to highlight to you is at the bottom here, our plan, PLAN. I love this framework because one of the things we're going to get here is within our plan. The P is to picture. Can we picture the future? Can we picture the outcomes? Can we paint the picture of destination that we want our staff to be able to see? Can we work together to picture that future? When we talk about the summer and it's February and March, and we talk about summer, are we talking about a plan? Are we talking about what this looks like? Are we talking about a picture? The end of August, when we're talking about a successful summer, here's what would have taken place. And we have to live that out. So we have to picture the destination. Then we have to listen and link. It is critical for us to be able to listen to everybody. That is stakeholders, things they want to see. That is going to be our staff, things they want to see, things they want to develop. That's our administration. What are the things they see? City council, we already know that. Our boards, commissions. In the sports realm, we have our players. We have our other coaches. We have our school administration. We have the parents. Those same parents are taking swim lessons. They got kids in swim lessons because they got the younger kids that they're raising up still. So are we listening? Are we listening to all of the needs of the community? And then we're talking about linking this together. So we're listening and linking. How do we link everything together that we're talking about? How do we link this together for a product or for a system, for a service? How do we make this happen in the service of our community? These are the things that we're looking at constantly on a daily basis. Then, after we've pictured a destination, after we've listened and linked the information together, now we as a team get together and we devise a plan. This is the architect the system and or the plan of what we're doing and how we're doing it, where we're going, how it's going to serve a community, and what these end results are going to be that we are looking at. This is how we're going to do it, is by architecting this design. Bringing people together, having the clarity, having the structure, having resources. This is going to put that in place for us, is having the resources. And then lastly, we're going to normalize the cadence of this. How we normalize the cadence? If we're setting up a project, we're going to have continued meetings on this. If we're setting up for our summer plans, we're going to have continued check-in meetings, whether these are individualized or whether it's part of the team as a whole. For instance, our aquatic staff, we might be meeting with our aquatic staff once a week. Me as a leader, I'm telling you right now, as a director, I'm meeting with every full-time person that I directly oversee on a biweekly basis. And if we need to, because of the busyness of the season, I'm going to do it on a weekly basis. All non-direct reports, I meet with once a month. And in a time like summer, I might meet with them a little bit more often. Worst case, if it's not a scheduled meeting, I'm dropping in and doing a check-in, making sure that they're okay, asking how I can serve them. This is how we normalize. And I'm going to tell you right now what happens. And you know as well as I do. I'm not making up anything you don't already know. Summer hits, and all of a sudden, we're just being too busy. We're being busy, being busy. We're being busy literally doing busy work, not the work that counts, not the work that serves a community. So we start getting lazy and we start not checking in with staff. We start not dropping in because you know something, at some point, we're saying, man, I want to hear about all the problems at the moment. I just need a break for a minute. Well, if we normalize this, if we normalize and we're constantly taking our time, taking our walk around the building, our drive through facilities, stopping and talking with staff and checking in when things are okay. That's another big deal. Check in when things are okay. Because guess what? Now they know you care because you're also checking in when things are okay. You're making sure they're doing okay. You're going to an outdoor area and taking them some bottles of water. You're going to the summer camp and you're taking your staff some cookies or some popsicles. These are the ways we show we care and we normalize these touch points. And we, hey, how's everything going? Hey, did this work out how we thought it would? Hey, any troubles that you've had? Anything I can help with? And we're able to have these check-ins as a non-reactive basis. And that's what I love about what we get to do. So I encourage you to have these. The other aspect that I wanted to highlight here is as we go through our plan, picture, listen and link, architect the systems, and now normalize that cadence of meetings, along with having our drop ins and our check ins to continue to build those relationships and foster the development of our staff and have them know how much we care. That's the biggest thing. Now we are prepared for our panic proof pathway. The panic proof pathway that I want to highlight here, one of the beautiful pieces to this. You always know there's going to be a trigger at some point. Then we prepare. If we already know our operation, though, we don't have to worry about preparing because we are prepared. We might be altering based on the situation that's occurred. Okay. That's a key component. When that opportunity presents itself, it's too late to prepare a brand new plan. So now we're rolling into a situation and have to figure it out piece by piece. And that's when we become very reactionary. So if we've really set our operations in place and have great systems in place, that trigger happens. Now we prepare for how we're going to handle it. The communication piece. Who needs to be involved in this? So we have the preparation, the plan, the people, as I just highlighted these three things. Now, what's the process? What is the process that we need to take with this? And that could be we need to wait a little bit. Could be we need to move forward more immediately. It could be we need to alter an existing process that we have because maybe it just didn't work the way we thought it would. And we need to alter this now. The key, though, prior to the pulse, or prior to the process, rather, is we have to have the right people in the room to have these conversations. And that's the thing I encourage you. Have the people in the room. Take the pause. Take that minute to get the right people in the room and have the right conversations. Now we talk our way through that process with the right people, whether it's altering something existing, like I said, or coming up with something new. Now we get the pulse. We get the pulse of this. What is the pulse? How does this help us? When does it need enacted? When does it go? How often? That's that pulse. How often? When? And how we communicate to staff on the why. Now we've answered all these. Now we're ready to perform. We're going to go get the thing done. This could all sometimes happen in a couple hours, could happen in a couple days, could happen in a couple weeks. You just never know. It all depends on the situation. We're going to perform. And after we perform, we're going to come back together and have a post game and we're going to debrief on this. Did it work the way we had hoped? And in most cases, we can set this up at our next staff meeting. I highlighted earlier, I meet with all direct reports on an individual basis on a biweekly, indirect reports monthly. Our whole full-time team comes together, though, once a week for a staff meeting. And we might be able to just sneak in a post game, 15 minutes of one of those staff meetings to talk about what worked from what we did. What was the trigger? How did we prepare? What was the plan? Who were the people that were involved? Because we might discover there was someone that wasn't involved that needed to be. What was the process? What was the pulse we chose and why? When to do it, how to do it, how often to do this? Because we might discover our pulse was inaccurate and we needed to move quicker on it, or we needed to take more time. How do we perform? What is the feedback from this, and how do we make adjustments on it? So that post game is so important. So many organizations fail to have a post game on it. If things are solved, they just move forward and call it good. If things didn't work, they just start throwing darts and making moves on other things. And that is not the way to handle it. We have to have an actual post game and talk about what worked and what didn't work and why. And if something worked great, we should be highlighting that and also talking about how might this be able to help us again in the future. What is another area this might help us in? So these are things that we have to be able to dive into and have really genuine talks about. When we have a plan and when we have our panic-proof pathway, these are systems in place. You follow what I'm saying here? These are systems. This is where you bring the integration method together because we're including people. We're overcoming issues that have gone on, or we're setting a clear destination and putting a structure in place. This is that integration method that we talked about. This is part of it, creating clarity and structure. As we have clarity and structure, we can start to eliminate some of this burnout, some of these things that are hurting us. Burnout doesn't just hurt you. Burnout hurts the whole team. And frankly, if you have a person on staff that's burned out, that doesn't just affect them, it affects everybody around them, including you as the leader. How do we prevent burnout? How do we create a culture that prevents burnout? We're not always going to stop burnout. We're not always going to prevent everything. Things are going to happen. And when things do happen, how can we come back to the table and identify, whoa, you know something? Who's got the courage as a leader to step up and say, we've really been grinding things out for the last several weeks, and I can tell staff is getting tired. I can tell staff is burned out. The reason I know is that causation is the overwhelm. And they're starting to get unclear. They're starting to miss some things. They're starting to break down their structure a little bit because they're tired. And when we're tired, one of the first things to go is mental clarity. We as a leader have to step up and say, you know something, let's slow down today. Whether it's a Friday or a Thursday, let's have a little more of a fun day. Let's slow down operations today. Let's have some more fun today. Maybe it's a ice cream social in the middle of the afternoon. Maybe it's a team lunch. Let's break things down. Let's have a conversation. Let's really come back to base with each other. And we can either talk about things or we can just totally cut loose and not talk work at all. How do we be there for each other? How do we commit to each other? How do we value each other to have these conversations and to take this approach? That's where it really counts. And for me and for so many people, I've seen this. The role of leadership is hard. It's not easy. And how do we create the identity of a strong leader and instill habits that prevent burnout? And we're going to get into this a lot more in the next episode when we do a deep dive into the H cube formula. It's going to be a deep dive into that. What's really pertinent for right now, though, is habits. And habits is the final piece of that H cube formula. The habits that we put in place, the systems that we put in place, these help prevent burnout. These help guide us as a staff with boundaries to make decisions. So not every decision has to go to the leader. How do we build these habits? It's daily, it's piece by piece, and it's about prioritization. One of the things that I know, we just get so busy being busy as leaders. We get so busy trying to put out every fire. Everything's a darn dumpster fire anymore. We get so busy trying to put out all these fires all the time. Oh, my email's got to be a priority. It's amazing how many people spend so much time on emails, yet they never actually respond to anything. And I wonder, what the heck are they doing? There's times I send out emails to people, I don't get an email back for like 2 weeks. Oh, I'm sorry, I was so busy. I was so busy. I was like, so finally one day I was talking to one of the clients I work with. Oh, what have you been so busy doing? And they started explaining to me a couple of things they were busy doing. And I kind of chuckled a little bit. And they said, oh, this is like that blog you wrote, right? Busy being busy. And I was like, this is exactly what that is. And you know what his response was? He's like, you're kind of right. He goes, I just think we have bad habits. As people, we have bad habits and we just get streamlined into these habits and we can't break them. And that's where someone like me comes into play because I'm that accountability partner with you. I'm helping you break these bad habits. I'm helping you instill structure and instill quality habits that are going to help move you forward. That's the whole point of this. You're not alone. Tell you what happens when people stay alone and when people don't take the steps, they just keep riding the doom loop and they're not preventing burnout. They're actually attracting it. They continue to do what they've always done and continue to get the same results and continue to say they want to change, yet they don't change. So I'm challenging you to how to create that change. Partner up. Partner up with somebody. Get that help. Because it's an accountability partner, is what it is. Get the help. Instill structure and priorities and quality habits. They're going to be daily habits that keep you grounded. One of the biggest habits that I like to talk about, and we'll talk about it more in the next episode, is scheduling work time. Literally, block time on your calendar. It's work blocks. When are you most productive? Because that's the work block that you want to get. Hey, if I'm most productive between 8 and 10 a.m., I'm going to schedule that out for myself. Maybe an hour of it, maybe an hour and a half of it, and then I'll have time people can drop in. But there's certain times when I need to have focused time that I have to pause that drop in And it's okay. We can explain to staff why we're pausing that drop in because we need to get this and this done. Staff will respect that because you're going to give them the same respect back and allow them their time. And this is where we create great standards and habits. So if we all just come in and check our emails every morning, then get bogged down with a bunch of phone calls for the next hour, and then have all the drop-ins, next thing you know, it's lunchtime and we haven't actually done anything that's productive towards advancing the system. We've been putting out fires the whole time. And that's where we get to the overwhelm because the deadlines creep up on us. We have to book and savor that time that we need to get things done that lead us to these priorities. We have to have this time. Um, I've gone through so much over the course of my career, and I have seen so many different things. I've worked in all aspects of parks and recreation and also football coaching. I've been in all aspects of this, and I have seen so much over the years. I've seen people burn out. I've seen people have terrible habits, bad systems, and yet just keep saying, "Oh yeah, we got to change this. We got to change this." And 2 years later, they're still operating in the exact same system. They're still doing the exact same things and wondering why they're not getting any different results. And I keep telling them, "You are in the doom loop. You just keep cycling it back and back and back and back." I can tell you that I very specifically remember one of the years early in my career when I was in aquatics. I was doing aquatics and fitness, and we opened a new facility. And we absolutely were figuring out operations of this facility day by day by day. And it's not that we didn't know what we were doing. We had a system in place and we very quickly understood the system we put in place isn't going to function exactly how we want it to. And it's creating some gaps and it's creating some uncertainty for staff. We have to fix this. I can tell you very confidently that for a 2 month period, actually, I'll go back one step. For a 6 week period, I worked 80 hours a week. And it wasn't because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. It was because we were that busy operating 6 facilities, trying to get staff all together on the same page to create clarity and to create structure. Fortunately for us, our outdoor pools had great clarity and structure. The only thing that really took away, we had a small team to prepare the pools to open. So the reason we started hitting 80 hours a week is because we were preparing the pools to open. And at that same time, we were opening a brand new rec center that had a huge indoor water park. It was a very challenging time. The water park is what was giving us our daily issues, how to operate it, how to achieve everybody's needs. And I remember I got to a point where I was like, holy smokes, this is too much. I could feel myself just burning out. I was on literal autopilot, doom loop riding, yet trying to change things. And I'm telling you, it was 80 hours a week for 6 straight weeks. Then as I got 7 and 8 weeks in, started to drop a little bit, got to like 60 to 70 hours. And I was just tired. I was working 7 days a week in most cases, had nothing left in me. And that's when I really said, like, this is too much. I can't do this. Got to week 9, and it wasn't even me. It was one of our admins finally comes up and says, Jason, you can't be doing this anymore. Like, this is ridiculous, the amount of hours you're putting in. Something's got to change. And I looked at her and said, you're right. I just am trying to figure it out. Almost there, just not quite there. And step by step, piece by piece, over the next week, we pulled together our full-time staff and our key head lifeguards and managers. Pulled everybody together. And it took a week to get this organized. I'm 9 weeks in at this point, and I'm toast. And we still had, at that point, I want to say we still had 6 or 7 weeks of the summer left. And I told people where I was. I said, I'm here to help you in any way I can. I'm toast. And you know what they said? Said, Jason, I'm feeling it too. We're toast too. Like this has been a lot. It was really hard to open the new place right as we were trying to get the outdoor season started. I was like, yeah, it was. It was really hard. And we've learned a lot of lessons, and now we got the indoor place under control. It's just the sheer mass volume of people that we serve every day. It's so many. And the amount of hours we maintain is so many. I'm like, yeah, this is really hard. We didn't come out of that day with an answer. We just came out of that day pouring ourselves onto the table, talking about things. We came together multiple times the rest of the week. I started making multiple trips out to the pools. And something changed that week. Didn't change because I came up with anything magical. It didn't change because our crowds got lowered. Something changed because we opened up to each other in a constructive way. That's what changed. It was a commitment to each other while also having the ability to be vulnerable with each other to say, like, dude, I'm tired. Like, this freaking sucks. This is a lot. Everybody that works in the public sector, you're like, yeah, we all say we're here to do this because we love to serve the public and we love the service. We're here to help others and make life better. That is all true. We're all here to say that. That's all true. Oftentimes that we have trouble admitting at times this sucks. Like we're freaking tired. We're burned out because we're being pulled in 50 different directions and we need to come together and take a break somehow. We fail to do that because it's almost like we feel guilty to say this is hard or I need a break. Hey, I've given this community everything I can and I need a break for a minute. It's like we're afraid to say that or like it means it's failure. That's not failure, that's humanity. That's literally being human. To say I have given so much, I just don't have anything in me right now. Our plan started to come into play. And we all started deciding how we were going to work out to take some time off work, a couple days here and there, whether it was, 3 straight days off work or whatever the case was. Over the next several weeks, we all did this. All full timers, all head guards, and full managers. We all did this. We all grabbed 2, 3 days straight off work, got away. And every single person, when they came back, they had a clarity of thought because they weren't tired now. They were rested. And we started getting to the bottom of how to operate a little bit more efficiently because we finally did something for ourselves and took a break. And we didn't magically solve everything that summer. It wasn't perfect that summer. We got through the summer successfully though because the second half of summer we started adapting and we started creating some change. Because we came together, we got vulnerable and we literally just valued each other and committed to each other and opened up. And that's how we did it. It was not a magical formula, magical science. However, what I will say though is we used that plan canvas. Now back then I didn't know I was using it. We used it though, and we used our panic proof pathway to first identify how do we continue to serve? How do we get rested? And how do we make improvements for the future? And piece by piece, we did it. One day at a time, we did it. We came together as a team. We found that success. Most importantly, though, we committed to each other. We hit burnout and overcame it together. And that's what I was most proud of that team that summer. And that's what I want to help people prevent now. You don't need to get there. I did it for you. We as a team did it for you. You don't need to get to burnout. We can help you prevent that. And that's what being here is all about. Appreciate you joining today as we talked about the summer reset, why leaders burn out, and how systems create freedom. This was just a touch point on a couple items. We'll get into episode 2 coming up in the next week or two, having more lessons, more learning, more deep dives. We'll definitely have a deep dive into the HQ formula, which will be health, heart, and habits, because that is the engine of leadership. We'll have a deep dive into that. You can catch us on any platform for listening to podcasts, as well as the YouTube, Third and 30 YouTube channel. You can catch my YouTube channel, The Integration Method, to also be able to view this. I'll have it posted online. And please reach out if you have something you want to talk about, topics you want to hear covered. Reach out. Happy to get connected and learn more with and from you. Again, happy to have you here. Thanks for joining. Let's prevent summer burnout. Let's drive through this summer with great success. Looking forward to talking to you all again soon. Have a great day.